Hey guys, and welcome back to my learning to slide progression videos. And to be honest, today I struggled. I felt like last time I came out I made a lot of progress and managed to get some decent heelside slides, but today it felt like a step back. I wasn't focused, I made some stupid mistakes, but the lesson that I learned was more to do with mental fortitude and mindset, and you'll see why. Since I hadn't skated for some days, I decided to just ease into it, not go too fast. This one wasn't too bad, but I still struggle with not being able to turn back down the hill after the slide. This is probably due to not putting my sliding hand far enough forward. Maybe I'm swinging my shoulders too much, I'm not too sure why. And the next attempt has the same issue. I think I need to work on swinging my shoulders back in the opposite direction so I can right myself and face back down the road. So this was the first thing that knocked my confidence. I know I wasn't totally focused, but even now I'm not actually too sure what I did wrong here. It just seemed to give out, and I kind of just flopped and grazed my arm. I always expect to make some falls, but I got a little frustrated on myself for not being focused and not really understanding what I did wrong. This next one wasn't too bad, although I'm still having the same problem where instead of sliding back into facing downhill, I kind of just roll sideways and manually carve back into facing down the hill. Okay, so here is the moment that really knocks my confidence. So just as I was bending down to commit to the slide, I saw a car coming from the opposite direction. It was quite a way away, so it wasn't dangerous, but my instinct when I see a car is to just foot brake, slowly stop and get out of the way. But because my mind was already in the process of committing to the slide attempt, and also the pressure of knowing I was being watched by this gentleman, I kind of tried to foot brake and do a slide at the same time, and this happened. Now, it wasn't that bad of a fall, but I was already annoyed at myself for not being focused, and making this stupid mistake really made me irritated at myself. And because I put my weight on my arm in an awkward way, it ended up hurting my shoulder, so here I am trying to gauge if I've injured my shoulder joint and generally being annoyed at myself for making this stupid mistake. But after some self-reflection, I decided my shoulder didn't feel too bad. Screw it, I'll just continue and just come at it with a fresh mindset. So I did a couple of push-ups just to make sure my shoulder was fine and tried again. But as I did another accidental 180 slide and I felt a twang of pain, I decided, you know what, there's no shame in just calling it there. I'll take a break, have a mental reset, because I'm obviously not focused, I'm getting frustrated on myself, and my arm kind of hurt, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go get lunch and just come at it from a fresh mindset next time. So after I'd had a Subway sandwich and some flaming hot Doritos and a dank Dr. Pepper, I came back feeling slightly more positive. Or so I thought. And I decided I was just going to hold off on the glove slides for today and just pick them back up next time. So right now I was just going to see if I could make any progress on the stand-up slides. And these were the first stand-up attempts for a number of days, so I was kind of just taking it easy and not fully committing. However, that's always kind of been my problem with stand-ups. I need to put way more weight on the front foot and just overcome my fear of leaning back and just do it. Here I didn't really try any because, like the bail from before, when there's people around watching I tend to lose confidence, so I decided to just wait until the coast is clear before fully committing. And from watching the footage, I don't actually think I'm too far off heelside stand-ups. I think the technique is sort of there, aside from needing to put more weight on the front foot and leaning back more. But I think in order to get these down, I'm just going to need to go a lot faster to be able to actually slide them. Yeah, I'm kind of just doing the same thing here and not fully committing. But here is where I want to point out the next thing that affected my mindset and general negativity. So I love coming to this spot to learn because it's a nice gradual decline, it's smooth, it's a nice area, and because it's a one-way street that only leads to some houses, every time I've come here it's always been super quiet with barely any cars and not many people. But because I was already in a negative mindset, I just started noticing that today, for some reason, there was way more cars, people and cyclists than usual. And normally I would just wait until the coast to be clear, but today it just seemed that every time I'd wait for it to be clear and then try to go, they would just start appearing out of nowhere. And it actually started to annoy me. Like here, I waited for there to be no cars or people. I'm about to go, and then bam, cyclist. Bam, another car. Lady walking down the road. Another cyclist. More cars. More people. And looking back, I actually find it funny, because this was filmed on a Sunday. It was nice and sunny, so people, were outside going about their day, and here I was, so self-absorbed that I'm actually annoyed that there's other people using this road. Look, I'm seething. How dare these people go on a walk on one of the nicest days on a Sunday afternoon? Don't they know there's a guy in his 30s trying to learn to skateboard? I wasn't actually annoyed at anyone in particular, but it just felt like today the simulation was out to get me. You know, in the Truman Show where Truman figures out something's up and he's trying to get somewhere, and the people managing the show directed cars to suddenly appear and cause traffic and people to just appear and get in the way. It kind of felt like that. Like, some days where you're driving and every traffic light just turns red just as you get there, and you just think, man, I must have done something to anger the traffic light gods today. But yeah, when I stopped being a baby, I decided, okay, I'm having a bad day, let's just take it back to the basics and practice some fundamentals. I remember watching a video by Downhill254, who has an awesome channel for learning to longboard, and he recommends hand drag carving, so literally just carving while putting a glove down. And it's really useful because you just get used to the feeling of putting your hand down, transferring weight, and for me it's a really useful stepping stone on learning toe side slides in particular, because I've got like a big fear of committing to them, and by doing this I can carve to the toe side while putting a glove down in a non-committal way, so I could just get used to the feeling before I start learning them fully. And one thing I noticed when reviewing this footage is my stance looks off when I compare it to others who know how to do it. I think I'm still just not leaning forward enough. And another thing I noticed is when I'm grabbing the side of the deck when carving to the toe side, I'm mostly grabbing the deck behind my front foot, like a melon grab. And after watching people who know what they're doing, they seem to grab in front of the front foot, like right above the wheel. This is probably also affecting my lean and not putting enough weight to the front. This was another stupid thing I did today, so I noticed another car coming in the distance, and this time I tried to do the usual foot brake, but when I put my foot down, I put my toe down first instead of the heel, and I ended up just doing this manoeuvre. And this clip is indicative that I'm still leaning way too far back. If I intended to do this, this would have been cool, but I wasn't. And the fact that I did some weird little manual 180 spin just shows that I'm not putting enough weight over my front foot. So yeah, I practiced doing some more of the basic glove drag carving, but I didn't try anything else because I just acknowledged that my head wasn't in the right place today. But next time I'm just going to relax and just try to remove all these useless negative thoughts so I can just fully focus on what I'm actually trying to do, and lean on my front foot, not being scared of leaning back, and just not panicking when I see cars coming in the distance. I do think it's going to be a good idea for me to start sessions by just practicing basics and not diving straight into the full slides and just building up to them. So yeah, hopefully next session I'll get some better ones down and see some progress and get back into that positive mindset. But thanks for watching, and I'd really appreciate if you can leave a comment if you see something I'm obviously doing wrong. Just let me know so I can take it on board next time. But yeah, see you later.